Hello my guys, welcome to another episode of the Microwave Cakes. After yesterday's Victor Osimhen saga, after the reaction video and everything, now let's actually get into this Victor Osimhen issue. What's next for Victor Osimhen and what was he trying to indicate? What was he trying to prove after rejecting the offer from Hilal? Because that was a lifetime contract. That was a contract that doesn't come often. That's the kind of contract that it is once in a lifetime, and he's not the only one to reject Saudi. Fernandez have actually rejected Saudi. De Bruyne rejected Saudi at some point. Majority of good players who are actually in their prime or actually phasing out has actually rejected Saudi. Now, based on the fact that Victor Osimhen is an African doesn't make him make it different, all right? So now let's actually look into what's next for Victor Osimhen and why actually what does this move actually indicate for him, having rejecting Hilal and the Saudi millions. If you're new to this channel, please hit the like button, please subscribe to this channel, please hit the notification bell and always share your thoughts in the comments. It actually indicates that you're in love with this content and you support this channel. Now let's move into it as quick as possible. First of all, the ambition to compete at the top level. I keep on saying this, that Victor Osimhen's decision to reject the Saudi millions actually indicates that he belongs to the highest level. It shows that he wants to play with the elites. It shows that he's a striker that has to, play at the highest level of football, the best competitions in the world, the top 5 leagues in the world. That is where he belongs, like the likes of Hilal, the likes of Mohamed Salah, the likes of Hurricane. See, that is the level he belongs, and that is where he wants to be. That is why he had the guts and, to reject the Saudi millions. All right. Now, look at the likes of Salah. He's earning a huge amount of money. He just ended his 400k per week, and he has been given another contract which might be close to that amount as well. And look at from the rates that Liverpool are actually close to and are almost completing the deal. Liverpool are offering the likes of 340,000 per week for the top 6 clubs in England. If you're talking about a strict budget, you're talking about a club like Liverpool. All right, that's the kind of club that have a very, very strict budget. They don't pay anyhow. But guess what? The likes of Van Dijk, the likes of Salah, Florian Wirtz coming in, big players in that team and earning even more than what Victor Osimhen is actually requesting for. So why not pay him what he's actually requesting for? Now, the likes of Hilal in the Premier League is earning so much in the Premier League, close to 400 or 500,000 pounds per week. So is Victor Osimhen asking for too much? Absolutely not. 250 is not much. How much are Manchester United trying to pay in Mbeumo? 200k. So can you compare a player like Mbeumo to Victor Osimhen? No. Yes, Victor Osimhen is not Premier League proven. I understand. But he has won the league in two different countries. He was so good at Lille before going, to Napoli. Even before Lille in Charleroi, he was good. In Wolfsburg, it didn't really work out, but he was still good. In Napoli, he broke the jinx, he broke records. So what are we talking about? He deserves to be paid that amount of money. Secondly, his desire, for legacy, not just the payday. What I mean in this fact is he desires that legacy. He's not just the fact that, see, this guy is rich. Let's be honest. He's rich. All right, already he has actually achieved a whole lot in terms of finance. He is not going to suffer. Now, he wants legacy. That's the fact. Like, he wants to play, he wants his name to be written in the stars. He wants to play at that highest level where once you're reading history, you should read Victor Osimhen's name in there as one of the best African strikers who play in the Champions League, who actually won the Champions League, or be the highest goal scorer in the Champions League, or be the highest goal scorer in the Premier League. Or that is the kind of records he's actually looking for, not the payday at this point. The riches can come later. Because after football, he will still get endorsements. Even at the end of the day, probably 3, 4, 5 years later, he can still go to Saudi if he's still performing at this level. See, the Saudi deal, if he goes to Saudi, the coming back to Europe will be so difficult to play in the biggest clubs. Let's be honest. But trust me, if he plays in the club like Chelsea, Manchester United, Arsenal, these big clubs, there's every possibility now at the end of the day, at the end of the next 3, 4, 5 years, Saudi can still come calling. Saudi will always be there. So that's the fact. So he made the rightful decision for himself. Now let's look at the next reason why I think Victor Osimhen made that particular decision. You know, Victor Osimhen has this strong believer mentality. Yes, his mentality is not the fact that I want to go get these millions now. No. His mentality is different. Yes, I know he must have been advised by his agents and by his advisors and whatever. I understand that fact. But if you watch him play, if you watch his passion for the game, you understand that he has a different mentality. When Nigeria drew to, is it Zimbabwe or this recent game that Nigeria drew, Victor Osimhen scored the first goal. You could see his passion when he knew that the chances of Nigeria qualifying for the World Cup is slim. There was a report that came out that even told the coach that, come on, that see, if he doesn't play at this World Cup, the next World Cup he will be 30, he will be 31. He was so furious, he was so angry. He has this passion. His mentality is to win often. That's the kind of player he is. So you should not even be surprised that he even rejected Saudi, because he has a different mentality entirely. And that's the kind of player he is. Also, his dreams are bigger than this money. His dreams, yeah, are bigger than this money that Hilal are actually offering right now. He has a huge dream to actually win big tournaments. So, do you know what it means to play in the Champions League and win it? Hilal is not competing for the European Champions League. The European Champions League is the elite of world football apart from the World Cup. That's the first highest competition in club football. And that's the second competition after the World Cup. So he wants to play there. He has played there before. He knows how it feels to play in the Champions League and to compete. And that's what he wants. He believes if he still gives it time between now and the end of the transfer window, which is August or so, or September 1st, thereabouts, he still have a chance for a big club to still come calling. He still have a chance to still play in the Premier League. He still have a chance to play in the Champions League at the highest level. So that's why he had to delay it. He had to, resist it for a while. Because that opportunity in Saudi will still be there. If not Hilal, in due time, another club will still keep calling from that same Saudi league with that same huge amount of money. So what are we talking about? So his dreams are bigger, and he knows that he belongs to the highest level. He knows he belongs to the elite of strikers, like I said earlier. That's his level. That's where he belongs, not the Saudi league as of now. No disrespect to any player playing in the Saudi league. They have their reasons to play there. But he knows that this is not the time yet to go to Saudi. So you cannot blame him for that, And lastly, he knows he is not done with Europe. He knows he's not done with Europe yet. The league might be there waiting. The money might be so enticing. The millions might be so enticing. The private jet, everything. He knows. But he's not done in Europe. He knows that he's not done. He has so much more to achieve in Europe before going to Saudi. He's not putting a complete stop to Saudi. Get me right. But what he's trying to do is that he wants to delay this whole thing, gets the best deals in Europe, gets the best deal in the Premier League or whatever, and play at the highest level, compete at the highest level, compete with the best players, win major tournaments. Before years later, he can now go to Saudi. Nobody faults Fernandes for rejecting Saudi too much like this. De Bruyne rejected Saudi. Salah rejected Saudi. Salah was offered a huge amount of money. He rejected Saudi. So why is Victor Osimhen now a big boss in the media? So respect to Victor Osimhen for doing this. Respect for Victor Osimhen for taking this bold step and letting people know and letting the media know that, see, it's not about what you say. It's not about what you think about me, but about what I know about myself. And what I know about myself is because it's the fact that I want to play. I want to play at the biggest stage of world football. Tell me what you think about all this. Tell me what you think about Victor Osimhen's decision. Tell me what you think about, is this the right decision for him? Do you want him to come to the Premier League? Which club are you supporting? Do you want Chelsea, Arsenal, Manchester United? Which club do you want to sign Victor Osimhen? Tell me what you think about his decision. Please, if you are not subscribed, please do well to hit the subscribe button. Like this post. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Until I come my way again next time, I remain your boy Mike Way. Stay cool. Cheers.